Hello everyone. In this video, we'll be having a short look at the history of microprocessor, how the microprocessor has been brought up, and how the generation of microprocessors will be taking in place as per the history of microprocessor expansion. Let's start our lecture with just an outline of the lecture. Over here is about the different generations of microprocessor from 4-bit to the 64-bit microprocessor. Today's objective of the lecture will be help the students to gain knowledge in the invention and generations of microprocessor. So before we start with the microprocessor, just the slide look at the how a microprocessor has been developed. So Fairchild Semiconductors, they invented the founded the semiconductors in 1957, and they invented the first IC in 1959. 1968, Robert Noyce and Jordan Murray, Andrew Grew. These are the few. These are the Intel Corporation persons who has been taken into consideration, and they have developed microprocessors. These people they founded their own company, Intel. The Intel, which we say it as integrated, integrated electronics, which is the full name for Intel Corporation. And these three people have their own startup in the industrial jail by 1981. And the company was very good with 20,000 employees, and it was getting it as 188 million revenue. That was very good here in India. Till now we are having. And these people were the founders of the microprocessor. First microprocessor was 4004. On the left side, you can easily see that this is the microprocessor which has been Intel Corporation developed microprocessor. It is 4004. It is a 4-bit microprocessor. 4-bit microprocessor means it can handle 4-bit operations. Its clock speed was 750 kilohertz. And this microprocessor was being developed with 2300 transistors. Now, once we go ahead, we are saying a little more on this one, 84004. This is on a 4-bit. Now, see here, 4040. It is again a 4-bit microprocessor. It was not much, a little bit of more instructions were there, and it is. Then after this one, there was an directly shifting and a 4-bit to 8-bit microprocessor. And 8-bit microprocessor was developed in 1972. The first 8-bit microprocessor was 8008. And this was having a clock speed of 500 kilohertz. When you go for the 4004, you can see the clock speed is more when compared to this clock speed. But the new part of this one, 8008, was the 8-bit microprocessor. The bit length was increased. So, and one more thing is that it could execute 50,000 instructions per second. The clock speed was good enough to execute. Then it came with a microprocessor, the same 8-bit microprocessor. A little bit of more number of pins and clock speed is being improved over here. You can see the clock speed is 2 megahertz. From 5 megahertz to 500 kilohertz to 2 megahertz, it has 4 times it has been increased. The next one, it is an 8-bit microprocessor, same one, and 10 times it was faster than. This was very good. Next one, we came with 8085, which is the study of interest in our syllabus. We will be having 2 units on 8085 microprocessor. It is of 8-bit microprocessor. Its clock speed was 3 megahertz, and its data bus is of 8-bit, address bus is of 16-bit, and it could execute 769 instructions per second, and it could access 64 kilobytes of. It has 246 instructions. This was the 8085. Then the generation of 8085 to 16-bit microprocessor came up, which this is also one more microprocessor we will be studying in our syllabus. It's nothing but 16-bit microprocessor 808. Now, its clock frequency, roughly we can say it as 5 megahertz, 8 megahertz, and 10 megahertz, depending on the versions, like A, B versions, they were there, onto that versions. And it has a 16-bit address bus and 20-bit data bus. 16-bit data bus and 20-bit address bus. So when you are having a 20-bit address bus, you can have access up to 1 MB of memory. Was and previously when you had 8083, it doesn't have any like divide instruction. Most instructions are now like 808 is the microprocessor which has taken into consideration or which has developed this one line and divide instructions. Previous to that one, there was no and that's a little bit of this modification to the microprocessor and one more microprocessor came up, which is 8088. It is again a 16-bit microprocessor, but it was not fairly used due to its own problems. So they are not interested in it. When Intel came up with Intel 80186, 80188, these are again 16-bit microprocessors. And these are the one cheaper versions with 8-bit external data bus. So they have to they start going on developing different microprocessors like all this one. Let's change or this one. 286 was developed. Again, it is also a 16-bit. Clock speed is different. When you see this one, the number of transistors or number of instructions executed per second were improvised and the microprocessor were generations. Then we came up with 32 microprocessors like Intel 80386. Obviously, all these are the Intel Corporation. After 286, it is a 16-bit microprocessor. 32-bit microprocessor, starting 32-bit microprocessor, as far as the Intel Corporation is considered, is 80386. And number of transistors, you can see these transistors here 1, 3, 4, 2, 0 transistors were there. One may more than 1 million. And here, this is 30 million transistors. 75,000. So, like this way, number of transistors have been increased to a further extent. So, then we came up with in this one, different versions were there DX, SX, SL. These are the different microprocessors, and 808 386 were successful in selling a microprocessor to a very large extent. Then a further implementation has came up. 1.2 million transistors were developed in an 80486 transistor. Sorry, 80486 microprocessor. Like this way, different versions also microprocessor, and there was additional one more memory, which is called as a cache memory. It is nothing but 8 kilobytes of cache memory was included. Cache memory is very important actually. Repeatedly words are there. If you want to follow those words, we doesn't take into consideration of the main memory. Every time it doesn't go to it. We will put the cache memory. So this was the cache memory, 8 kilobytes of cache memory. Then it has came up with the Intel Pentium. Pentium was developed, which is I think most of the students are familiar with the name of the Intel processor, which is Pentium processor. Again, it is a 32-bit microprocessor. It is not beyond. And then its clock speed was 66 megahertz. Clock speed is being increasing as it goes on. And cache memory, you can see previously it was only 8 kilobytes of cache memory. Now it has given for 8 kilobytes of cache memory instruction, 8 kilobytes of cache memory data separate. The number of transistors or instructions per second was increased drastically. You can see 110 million instructions were executed. And it could able to access 4 GB of memory. Additional thing. Then Intel Pentium Pro. This also we have used previously 1995 it was developed, and it is having the same cache memory was there, and it has an L2 cache of 256 kilobytes. One more cache memory was introduced with this Intel Pentium 2, then followed by Intel Pentium 2, Exxon Pentium 3, Pentium 4. Like this way, Intel 12 core. 12 core means it has two cores. Design. It is a 60, 32-bit or 64-bit processor, and this was introduced in 2006. These are the cores would be there. Well, CPU core chip. This would be the CPU core unlike this. CPU core unlike this. So this would be the next in form. Yeah, I had been developing 64 bit microprocessors with the name of dual cores. First, microprocessor was actually we can say this Pentium dual core processor, which was the first one in 2006. Then again in 2006, it came up a Core 2 processor, Core i7, i5, i3. All these processors, I think they are using these processors. These processors are having an operating speed of 2.93 gigahertz to 3.33 gigahertz, and it has 781 million transistors. So this is one of the major important. Thank you everyone. And this outcome of the lecture is that students will be able to list out the features of and knowledge on generations of. Okay, you will be getting an what are the different 8-bit microprocessor, 16-bit microprocessor. Thank you everyone, and we'll be having more elaborate discussion next one.